What's up, guys? It's your boy Zwolki, back with some more of the Chris Watts videos. Now, I am honestly at a toss and turn lately when it comes to this case, where the girl is murdered at home, where the girl is murdered at the Survey 319. Was Nicole Kessinger involved physically, non-physically? I'm at a toss and turn. I believe wholeheartedly that Nicole Kessinger was involved in some shape or form. The girls, I want to say one of them was murdered at the house. One of them was at Survey 319. But then we hear Chris's story that the girls were alive when he left. But again, we can't believe a word this man says at all. Even if this man in the future decides to tell us the 100% truth, we can't even believe the man unless we hook him to a lie detector test while he does that. Now, we're going to be watching another video that a lot of people have been wanting me to react to. Apparently, this is never before seen evidence, which I've seen a lot of the evidence, and people have told me that I haven't seen this yet. So I feel very intrigued, and I want to take a look at it with you guys at home watching. It's Geneva. Geneva is definitely another YouTube channel that I highly respect and enjoy. She is almost to 100K as well. So go over there, give her some love, and subscribe, comment, like, and share. You know the deal. But also on this channel, make sure you guys are subscribed by hitting the white bar icon down the bottom right. Hit that bell icon next to it. So when I do post videos like this one, you guys will get that little ring notification that that I posted that video. You guys can watch, comment, like, and share. And again, thank you so very much for the love and support you guys are continuously showing on this channel. I'm so blessed to have all you guys, and I thank you so very much. So, the shocking details that Daddy Chris Watts smothered the girls in their beds, which he had stated beforehand, but failed to do because they woke back up. There's footprints that we've stated before. The sheets tell a different lie. There's just more stuff that we need to take a look at. So with that being said, let's get a video.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video today, I'll be analyzing all of the different sheets used and captured in the Watts case. You may see or hear,
which I have stated there has holes been missing, and you can see them ripped off of the back of the fence. People want to sit there and say that I'm looking too far into this. I'm telling you, I can make another video about the fence. Why is my camera all the way down? There we go. I can make another video about that fence and the back area. Chris Watts even said, nobody lives in those homes in the back. No one is back there to see anything. He literally said that. So that's just implying that, hey, there's nobody to see anything back there.
hear things that you've yet to hear, so stay tuned. Now, for starters,
I'm
we've all
intrigued.
seen the one shadow under Chris Watts' work truck.
See? And he bent down and picked her up.
His family at the oil site on August 13, 2018. So it's possible one of the girls was alive and one was not.
See, I said the same thing.
We also know his mistress told a shocking allegation, which NK spoke to Loverboy Chris that same night, and he told her that the kids' sheets smelled. She was confused by this because he kept the house so clean. And
he didn't keep the house clean. She did.
Here's what she said.
He made the comment directly after that. He said, I had to wash the kids' sheets. He was like, they smelled. And I was thinking about that last night, and I'm like, this man keeps that house so clean. That's like the cleanest house I've ever seen.
Yeah, because of Shanann.
This man keeps that house so clean. Why would his kids' sheets smell bad?
Okay.
And that,
do you think that's smelly?
They smell.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's get back to that, because I feel like you and me are kind of getting off track. So go to that first long phone call on Monday night was, I think, when he told me that. I don't think he told me that in the FaceTime text. I mean, in the FaceTime conversation. I think he told me that in the first conversation, where he was like, their sheets smell. And I remember thinking to myself, like, why? Like, you keep such a clean, like, why would your kids' sheets stink? And, like, it just didn't really click. And then
Did you confront him?
yeah, it was
why they...
What's up?
Did you confront him why the sheet smelled, or did you inquire why?
No, I didn't even ask.
Do you know his... I mean, his children were quite young, and I think one of them was still in diapers. Would that have been a potential reason, you know, that one of them had an accident, or did it seem like that's not what he was talking about?
I don't know. I mean, he didn't elaborate.
Okay.
He was just like, I mean, like I said, he always cleans the house, but even if his kids were to be in diapers and, like, have accidents, like, I just feel like the man keeps his house so clean, and she does, too. They both must have to, like, coexist in a house that clean. But, like, I just don't see anything in the house, like, smelling.
Okay. All right.
So that was why I brought that up, because I was like, whoa.
Very important. Thanks for remembering that.
I feel like she's like trying to put this off somewhere else where it doesn't make any sense, so that the detectives are thinking over here, but then it's actually over here. Like, it doesn't make sense. Why would you talk about the sheets smelling?
So as we use common sense, really the only reason they would smell would be from their bodies decomposing and possible body fluids being released. But first, I want to point out a couple of things I found.
Okay.
Now, we know when the police first got to the Watts
No
house,
sheets.
there were no sheets on their king bed. This photo was when they seized everything in their home.
Where did the comforter go? Like, there's 3 pillows. We see 1 pillow that's on the floor. We don't see the sheet right there. But where did the comforter go?
After he confessed on August 15th, 2018. Now, Chris slept on the left side and Shanann on the right. You can see the blanket pulled down where he slept alone that first night on the 13th.
Sickening.
When you zoom in to the area that's pulled down, there are some red spots, which could have been there for a while or from the night he annihilated his family. Also, in that same photo zoomed in on Shanann's side, pieces of wood seem to be chipped away. Where it looks like someone had their foot there, possibly strangling her. Also, notice
nice catch,
no
Geneva,
on the spring mattress, which we'll talk about later in another interesting tidbit, which would tie this together. Also, next to the chipped wood is some type of stain on the spring mattress. Now, moving forward,
we've looked at this before.
The sheets in their kitchen trash cans, because this man is a pure genius.
Idiot.
He admitted he wrapped Shanann in the fitted sheet, which was the only one
see it, look right here. You can see the ripped sheet
missing at the time. It says, I asked Chris why there was sheets inside his kitchen trash can. Chris said he used the fitted sheet to wrap up Shanann found at the oil well site. So he didn't know what to do with the flat sheet and the pillowcases that were left over. I asked Chris why he didn't try to hide the
So he wrapped her up in the box spring sheet. Or not the box spring, the fitted sheet. Where'd the other sheet go?
sheet at the oil well site, and he said he was so scared he didn't know what to do. Special Agent Coder asked Chris if someone came up on him, and he said no. Chris said he knew his co-workers way out to the well site. And this is how far away the fitted sheet was from the oil tanks. Now, common sense tells me the wind did not blow it there, being how heavy a king fitted sheet would be. So, he must have placed it there himself after dumping his wife inside her tiny grave he so thoughtfully dug for her. Or, at least someone dug for her. And again, being the genius he is, didn't put it in the grave with her. To not only hide this huge red flagged evidence, but he left her by her lonesome with his unborn child about to be expelled from her lifeless body. If we zoom in on this photo from the drone footage, you can actually see a lizard just hanging out on the sheet. Now we can examine the fitted sheet that they held up, and with it darkened, you can see the markings of exactly how his bitch ass dragged her. Here you can actually see the drag marks on the outside of the sheet, where it probably snagged the fabric, dragging her to his work truck on the concrete. Drag marks where her bottom was.
But you never saw him drag anything or carry anything out.
And then at the top where her head was. All of the brown marks is from dragging her through the dirt at the oil site.
I never even thought about why was I completely stupid about this? I saw this image before. I was like, why is it bubbling up? It's drag marks.
Dirt at the oil site. You can see exactly where her butt and legs were from the discolored creases. She was
my
only
gosh.
wearing a thong, so that's why it's so visible. The line in the middle is from her spine, and the top is the gap from her neck. Moving along to the sheets and the trash. They have noted pillowcases with stains and a flat sheet, in quotes. But police got that wrong, because this is the skirt to the bed, not the flat sheet, which
okay.
The bed didn't have the skirt on, which means they never found the actual flat sheet to the bed. So along with all the other questions that we have on this case, now we recognize that there is a missing flat sheet.
Missing flat sheet, but also the comforter. Where's the comforter at?
Or maybe someone took it to their house as a souvenir. Wink, wink. Now we'll get into what I found on this skirt in a minute. But this moron really thought he was going to get away with this, leaving so much evidence at both crime scenes. I've spoken about this in an older video and demonstrated what I thought happened on these pillowcases. And I'll add another possibility that these stains could be from her eyebrow makeup.
That's what I said.
He was a coward and strangled her from behind with her face in the pillow.
That's what I said.
Or my original thought was this was from somebody's bottom after defecation. Remember the smelly sheets? So, this bear toy was my demonstrator, and I added Nutella to the bear's bottom, folding his legs up, letting it stain through, and we have a similar marking to the pillowcase. So we know there was one shadow. Now the stains leads us to believe it may have been from one of the girls. Celeste was in a pull-up diaper after they retrieved her body from the oil tank, so either it was her and she didn't have one on at the time, or it could have been Bella. Or Chris did mention Shanann defecated, so it could have been hers. Now, the reason it could be from her eyebrows is because of the rest of the evidence around the markings, which is glare and eyelashes. Which
I would say you can see them.
He cowardly strangled her from behind. Now, the other thing I noticed, which can only be seen from a police body cam, the day they were searching for his missing family, August 13, 2018. I took some still shots from the body cam. This is Bella's bed. You can see the blanket is pulled down, as if she just jumped out of bed. But notice how concaved the bed is, as if he put so much pressure on her as he smothered her. And her toy kitty is upside down. I can only assume this is the animated cat from the Discovery that is mentioned.
I just find it hard to hear you talk about just having this emotional, conversation with Shanann, and you're bawling and crying together, and you have not shed one tear in 2 days that you've been here. Not one. And help me understand that, because I don't get it. These are your baby girls, and you have not shed one tear over them not being around. Chris, I lose my 4-year-old in the store for 10 seconds, and I start to go panic.
I'm right there.
I have not seen any of that from you at all. Help me understand that.
I love those girls. I would never do any of this because I haven't shed a tear.
No, that's weird.
Why don't they ask him this question when he's hooked up to the lie detector? Like, I know, again, you can't use all that evidence, or you can't use the what's it called? You can't use the lie detector in, like, court for substantial evidence. It doesn't hold up or whatever. But it could give you a baseline of what he's lying and what he's telling the truth on. If he tells the truth at all.
Is that weird?
Don't look into that like I don't love my kids.
Tell me,
wife.
explain to me. You're crying with your wife that you're leaving her.
Yeah.
But you don't cry that your 2 little baby girls.
I'm hoping they're still around somewhere. I'm hoping they're still somewhere.
Yeah, but you
alive.
don't have them right now. You're not reading stories to them at night.
I know.
You're not giving them midnight snacks. You're not giving them their medicine. You're not waking up with them in the morning.
Shanann is.
I know this.
So that should cause you pain.
It does cause me pain.
But I don't see that. I don't see that. I want to see the Chris that cares. I want to see the Chris that, feels bad about what he did and wants to, get this off his chest and be done with this. And let us find your little girls so that they're not out there in the middle of a field or whatever somewhere. Like, don't do that.
I love those girls to death.
Then show us that. Show us that. Show us this Chris,
That-
not
that-
this Chris.
I'm not showing you that. I'm showing you the Chris that cares about his girls and his wife. Just because I haven't shed a tear, it shouldn't make you feel like I haven't, that the love isn't there for them.
It's weird. It doesn't make sense to me.
I understand that.
You have to.
I totally see where you're coming from.
No, you
Trust me,
don't.
like, there's nothing, just because I
Chris,
can't.
people can be pushed to the point where they do something that they regret.
He doesn't regret it. That's the problem.
But part of what makes you a man is the
He thinks he's still a father. He has their pictures in his cell. He asked for forgiveness. I mean, he literally thinks that the crime that he committed is not part of his life.
guy that goes, I really fucked up, but this is what I did, and I'm going to pay for what I did, and I'm going to tell you what
You
I
done
did.
messed up, Ron.
Be honest about it.
Now, back to the bed skirt. There is no mention of this since they didn't do a very good investigation with this case. To
Nope.
me, this looks like a footprint. And remember the stain and chips on the side of Shanann's bed? So his feet seem to tell a very good story on what happened, since he's incapable of telling the truth. Keep a lookout for another video I'll be making with this footprints evidence.
Oh,
And
I
then
gotta
we
look at
have
that.
The coroner's white sheet they took from Shanann and baby Nico after exhuming her body.
I remember watching this at one time, and it really was hard to watch.
How much of that in the bag? Yeah. So this was going to be the worst one, smell-wise.
So that one's the one that needs to go by itself?
Yeah.
Okay.
So is this the fitted sheet, or is this the... Yep, this is the fitted sheet. The top sheet is what was missing.
Long.
So he could have pushed her down into the bed, but grabbed her from behind instead of this way. Man. Because he said she didn't fight back, which is a lie. There's no way she would have not tried to fight back. Unless she was surprised by it.
I didn't know there was this much dirt on it.
What I really wish we could do is see like
No, just
the
put it on this
like
one.
the fingerprints that were on Shanann, like which way the orientation was.
Let's see. Yeah, just hold the bag. Make sure you get the one in there.
Really makes you think. So makes you think. Oh man. You can see some of the holes. Wonder if I can find that footprint video. Okay, so I found the one with the footprints. We didn't examine all the evidence. We didn't interview every witness that we needed. This is what Tammy, the agent, said. So let's continue with this.
Hello, everyone. Today I wanted to analyze the highly suspicious black plastic bags that Chris Watts left as evidence at the oil site where he gruesomely hid his family's bodies. I've dug through the entire discovery to showcase this because, as always,
in there.
this is another unsolved question. Now, first, I want to go through the list. Item number 6 is a blue nitro Number 7, a black plastic bag. Number 8, the other black plastic bag. Number 10, a rake head. Number 11, a rake handle.
So it
Number
broke.
13, a partial rake handle. Number 35, Shanann's fingerprints. Number 38, the roll of black trash bags from his work truck. CD1 contains 25 images of 6 and 7, which is of the glove and 1 of the plastic bags. And then we have the trace packet, which contains number 7.1, debris from 7, 7.2, debris paper evidence bag. Number 8.1 is debris from number 8.2, debris from paper evidence bag.
Which all of this would have been used in a trial, which we didn't get the trial because Chris Watts confessed. And when I say confessed, is he was pretty much made to because of the death penalty. When we should have had this go into trial, he would have been convicted regardless of what he did, but we would have had somebody else been involved in the trial as well. NK.
Bag. And 8.3 is hair collected from the inside of number 8. Now, as you can see, I have demonstrated all of these items for you with the numbers attached, just so we don't get confused with the numbers and the different items. So going through this entire list and reading the interpretations at the bottom here, it says 8 latent prints suitable for comparison were observed or developed on item number 7, which is one of the plastic bags. And then on item 8, 10, 13, and 38, there were no latent prints suitable for comparison that were observed or developed on those items. And then item 11 was not suitable for latent print analysis. And then the other ones are in the trace packet. They were supposed to be forwarded for analysis. And then item 6 and 35 will be analyzed on a future date.
So there was a glove that they found out there, but there was a blue glove they found at home.
8. So in the trace packet, we have debris and paper from both bags, plus hair from bag number 8. There is 25 photos of the glove and bag number 7, and everything inside number 7, but not bag number 8 with the hair. Now, why wouldn't they take pictures of the hair?
Exactly.
It's kind of important to know whose hair that was. They had 8 latent prints for comparison on bag number 7, but it doesn't mention inside the bag or outside of the bag. That's also pretty important information. I also find it strange they couldn't find prints from a rake handle or roll of bags, being someone had to have had their hands on them to use them.
Exactly.
Lastly, they sent off the blue glove and Shanann's fingerprints to be analyzed, but there is nothing in the discovery about the findings. Again, rather important, don't you think? Was the glove on Chris, Shanann, or someone else? So we don't know where exactly the prints were on the bag. There's no prints on the rake handle, and we don't know whose hand was in that damn glove.
Phone records don't lie. People do.
You're referencing that he has 2 kids, and then you don't like that?
And we can't forget the suspicious phone call the mistress made while in Frederick shortly after Chris drove off with his dead family. I mean, it's rather confusing that they had Shanann's fingerprints, went to get Chris's fingerprints and footprints, but declined to give the public the answers on whose prints they were. I'm sorry, but that's a red flag for me, and I'm sure for all of you too. Are they hiding this vital information on purpose? Or one other option would be Chris pleading guilty and stopping the clock. Maybe they didn't have enough time to analyze these vital items. Or maybe I'm giving them too much credit, always having an open mind. Now, moving along with the only information I could find in the discovery, articles online, or court documents, this is the only one from the discovery that mentions the latent prints were reported on 10/1/2018. They got Chris's prints on October 4, 2018. 7 days later, they received the reports on 10/11. So it took nearly 2 months to realize they had latent prints. Wow, seems ridiculous. Then, almost a month later, he pleads guilty.
We were preparing for a murder trial, and a murder trial that was going to last years. And all of a sudden, I receive a phone call from Detective Bobber, and he said, "Hey, Chris is going to plead guilty to all charges."
Christopher Watts has pleaded guilty to killing his pregnant wife, Shanann, and 2 young daughters, Bella and Celeste, and their unborn son, Nico.
Whoa, wait, we're not done. We have all these things to do. We didn't examine all the evidence. We didn't interview every witness we needed to. We didn't do all of these things that you would do in a normal investigation because he stopped the clock. We were relieved that it was going to be over, but at the same time, we felt like, in a sense, we didn't finish while we got some...
Even the professionals said that we were not finished. For all those people who said that the case is done, it's not finished. I wholeheartedly believe that Tammy is a very good professional, and she had stated too, they're not finished. There is so much more to be had, to talk about, to investigate, to question.
Satisfaction with the fact that we knew that he would never have the opportunity to hurt anyone else again. We were all left with the fact that the story was not over. And give me a hug. We all struggled with the fact that we didn't know what the truth was. By pleading guilty, every other case I've had, I've been able to put the pieces together. There's been signs in the past. There's things we can point to and say, look, he was a violent person before, whatever. Nothing about this case makes sense to me, but I still have to live my life, and I need to do as much good as I can for the rest of the time I have here. Hopefully counteract some of the evil.
Now, this is from one of the court documents online.
Mad.
It says, during the course of this investigation, items of evidence have been collected and have been sent to the Colorado Bureau of Investigation.
But if he was wearing boots out at Survey 319, why would they need to get his foot impression?
For testing. Upon receiving these items, an agent with the Colorado Bureau of Investigation developed possible bare foot impressions using their normal latent print process for non-porous items. These impressions were developed from a bag, Frederick Police Department, that's number 26 for them, which was collected at the scene where the victims' bodies were located. And these next 6 documents I'm going to show you come from articles that were reported online in 2018. So this one says, September 18th, motion states that the Colorado Bureau of Investigation agent developed possible barefoot impressions from a bag collected at the location where the bodies were found. And then an agent from CBI used a normal latent print process for non-porous items to develop the impressions according to the court documents. Latent prints are impressions created by rigid skin found on fingers, palms, and the soles of the feet. Non-porous surfaces would be those that did not absorb sweat, such as glass or metal, and thus can hold prints for a long time. The items of evidence are not described in the motion, but Rourke, who was the DA at the time, does say that they collected at the scene where the police found the bodies of 34-year-old Shanannwatts and her children, 4-year-old Bella and 3-year-old Celeste. Weld County District Attorney Michael Rourke wrote in the motion that the CBI has developed possible barefoot impressions from items of evidence.
Why would he be barefoot?
The possible footprint was found according to the prosecution motion obtained by People, which is People magazine, but this is online. In the filing dated Tuesday, authorities requested to take prints of Chris's bare feet so they can determine if it matches those found on the bag. That a bag bearing possible footprint was found at the oil site, some 40 miles east of the Watts home. In a motion filed in court Wednesday, prosecutors in the Chris Watts case are seeking inked footprints of both the defendant's left and right foot. The request for Watts prints comes after investigations discovered possible barefoot impressions at the scene where the victims' bodies were located according to court documents. Now, these last 2 in the court filings really pissed me off because it is so unbelievable. So it's checked off here that they had evidence logged provided in discovery. And then the defendant agrees, and the court orders that law enforcement may discard, destroy, or return all items of evidence set forth on the attached log, and that evidence will be released according to law enforcement agencies' procedures. And the defendant waives any right to further notification before the evidence is released. A photo ID is required for released evidence. The representative of the defendant who may collect the property is Ronnie Watts. And then we have this one. It says, the defendant understands that the evidence being held by law enforcement agencies in this case could contain DNA. The parties stipulate that the defendant's identification is a disputed issue? No. Law enforcement hold evidence that contains known DNA. No. Evidence that is not.
But they said that they had retrieved DNA. This doesn't say that they did?
Been tested could be subjected to a DNA test. Yes. This case includes DNA evidence that should be preserved.
So it says that the evidence that they have could be tested for DNA. Yes, they have it, but they didn't test for the DNA. We've always been told that they tested for the DNA, but it never was conclusive.
No. So if they didn't finish with this investigation and go through all the evidence that they had with possible DNA on it, with, well, you have the glove and then you have the bag. You have these prints. You have hair. It just does not make sense why they wouldn't preserve this material. I think it is complete ludicrous. So like I said earlier, why in the world are they hiding this information from the public? Is there something secretive that they don't want?
D.A. Rourke literally said that there was things that they have not released to the public. He gave us a chunk of what we thought we needed, but there's more to it. Release all of it! Is it that bad to release it?
Everyone to know. I mean, we're missing so many text messages from the mistress and Chris. The mistress was never asked certain questions
Agreed.
that could possibly implicate her. And we have actual evidence that they did not further explain, look into.
Her alibi?
I mean, nothing. There's literally nothing in the discovery
Sweet
to
Jesus.
even show if those were Chris Watts' footprints. Most importantly, if it was on the inside or the outside. Because let's just say that Chris was telling the truth when he said he put Shanann in the car and he put one bag over Shanann's head and
one over her feet.
Shanann's feet. That would make sense.
Could be
why
her
there would be
feet.
so many foot impressions on the inside of the bag. That would also make sense why the other bag had hair in it, because it could have possibly
her head.
fallen out. Or like everyone originally thought when this first case went down and Frank Rousset said himself in the sentencing that he took them out like literal trash. So if he had one girl in each bag, that would also make sense. But what were the size of those feet print? Whose hair was that? And we know that Chris was wearing boots when he was out at the oil site. So I'm not sure if he would have changed his shoes and he would have been barefoot with no socks. I don't know.
Makes
that doesn't
no
really
sense.
make sense being he's at work at this dirty oil well site. And there's also no mention of Shanann's footprints being taken to possibly compare with these latent bare footprints. It really does boggle the mind, and it's almost like this case is like some type of puzzle that they've set us out to try and figure out ourselves. How hard is it to just come out with the truth?
Exactly.
Unless they really are hiding something. And then in my previous video, I had found footprints on the bed skirt that was in the trash can. So I'll attach that little piece right now. There is no mention of this since they didn't do a very good investigation with this case. To me, this looks like a footprint. And remember the stain and chips on the side of
we just
Shanann's
talked about
bed?
it.
So his feet seem to tell a very good story on
It looks
what
like a
happened,
boot.
since he's incapable of telling the
Footprint.
truth. So if everyone else knows the truth besides the public, meaning the family that was involved, the Rousseks, I would want to know whose feet prints these were. But maybe they do know the truth. It just hasn't been brought out to the public. I mean, if it was Shanann's feet, her feet prints, then just put it in the discovery, tell the truth. Like, really, what is the big deal here? Literally every single piece of this case is fishy and
Such
very
fishy.
suspect. But here we are almost 3 years later, and we
This
still
is now
have
almost 6 years
answers.
later.
And maybe justice hasn't been fully served on certain people, but I think just by answering these questions would bring justice for the public.
I like
Even
Jim
though we
Neva.
know he is behind prison walls for the rest of his life. It would still be nice. Plus, if it was all Chris's doing, at least we know in our hearts that we can let this go and don't have to worry about possibly implicating someone else. But they're choosing not to do that, and that's what makes it very suspect.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just my opinion on everything.
I agree with you.
Everything that I've showed you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video.
This actually brought out stuff that I haven't even Like, I was always wondering why they took footprints of it, or Chris Watts' feet. This kind of answered a little bit of it. Tammy explains to us they were not done. They had tons more to do. There was things that were not right in this case. And she's a professional. Looking at the glove, the one glove, the other one is at the house. The girl's bed sheets. I mean, there's just so much more than I thought there was. Hi vey. So for those that are here still watching my channel or coming back or coming in brand new, let me know your guys' thoughts down below in the comments about these two different videos that we just watched from Geneva. Again, go over to her channel, give her some love by subscribe, comment, like, and share. Hit the like button for the obvious reasons that hopefully one day we will see that 100% justice. I thank you guys again for watching the channel. Please take care, be safe, and as always, keep nerding on, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.